Marshall on the blitz. Buckner gets rid of it to the left sideline, and it is intercepted by Gilmore. 30, 25, 20, right sideline. Stephen Gilmore. Gilmore into the south end zone at Notre Dame Stadium, and Marshall leads it 25-15.
Appleby with some time over the middle, picked up by Lang. Second interception of the game. Lang. Taquan Lang to the end zone. Touchdown.
Breaks it loose. It's a foot race. Rashid Ali, touchdown, 63 yards. His 21st rushing touchdown of the season.
He's going for Dobson. Dobson, the big strong receiver. Yes!
Welcome back, everyone, to the Herd Huddle. It is week 6. Marshall had a bye this week. This episode is going to be a little different. We got Casey on, aka Herd Bros. Just talking about things outside of just this season, kind of geographic challenges, stadium upgrades, things like that. Just kind of an all-around thing. So let's dive into this thing. What do you guys want to kind of go into first?
Well, I guess we'll start with kind of where college football is going with realignment. Texas State obviously leaving the Sun Belt for the Pac-12.
And that means Louisiana Tech's coming in, which to a lot of us is...
You know, we were all a little bit, rightfully, and still, I would still say the same thing if it were announced today. I'm still reminded, because I put out my Group of 5 Top 25, I've still got Louisiana Tech fans saying, remember when you said you didn't want us in the Sun Belt? I do, because it was like just yesterday that I said that. But I think every Marshall fan, and Marshall kind of got a bad rep just because the Herd Bros was putting out all that, but you know, having 3 teams in Louisiana doesn't make a lot of sense. It just doesn't. And even LSU is struggling financially. Like it's not like it's just the smaller schools, but LSU is going to be okay. Like they'll get the support they need. It is the schools like UL Monroe, Louisiana, who is also, I mean, they just had a financial article written like 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago. They're also not doing great. So, and they're successful on the field. So why would we want to bring in another team that for the last decade really has not been successful on the field? Fortunately, they're having a really good year so far in 2025. And right now they're the ESPN favorite to win the Conference USA. So that would be great if they win Conference USA on the way out and then come to the Sun Belt. But, you know, I still think I would say the same thing, even if I knew what they were going to do this year. I think I would have mostly the same opinion of, is that really the best move for the Sun Belt?
Yeah, because there's some people brought up, you know, maybe getting some teams from the MAC to maybe shake up the Sun Belt. This guy, you can dive into that a little bit. What you wanted to have happen or see happen, I guess.
Yeah, that rubs some people the wrong way. Mostly the West Division fans.
Yeah.
Barstool Coastal had an issue with it too. They were like, but the travel. I'm like, sorry, Barstool. I don't think that's what you sound like. But the travel between Toledo and Ohio versus Louisiana is, I mean,
yeah.
What's the big difference? So, you know, I really liked pulling from the MAC. You know, I hate to be the one that's like, let's tear apart the conference that stayed together the longest, basically. But NIU is leaving for the Mountain West, so I think Toledo, Ohio, Miami of Ohio, those teams that have had historic success in that conference are probably at least considering or open to considering a move elsewhere. Especially Toledo. I think Toledo fans are on edge, just ready to get out of that conference because they're in a pretty good market. I think they've got the support that they would need to make that move, and their fans just really want that because of the success that they've had. So those were the three teams that I was kind of, suggesting that maybe the Sun Belt should target them. You could set up a north-south division that way if you wanted to maintain divisions, which I know was a big reason why Louisiana Tech was added instead of waiting. They were worried about scheduling and how that would impact things. So I still think the three MAC teams would have been good. There's a lot of history there between, Toledo, Ohio, Marshall. But also, if you just on paper look at what could have been with JMU in Ohio or JMU in Toledo, App State, Coastal, seeing those kind of historic, decent, good, East Coast G5 brands facing off against each other each year, I think would have been good for the conference. So that's why I like them. It expands your footprint by one state, so it's really not that big of a deal because it's still a neighboring state to the rest of your footprint. So it maintains the regionality I think you're looking for. It's spread it out a little bit too much for the West Division fans to be okay with.
Yeah, and I know like a lot of people were upset with Keith Gill, but like we've talked about before, like we think that was kind of more of a ESPN deal because of the TV deals and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard too. That ESPN drives the boat in a lot of conference realignment, and I think that they, for the TV deal, wanted to see a 14th team put back in there as well. And I think with the speed that we had to do it as a conference, I think the presidents that was the easy move to make, was to put Louisiana Tech back in that spot. So, and I think, it may end up being okay, but for perspective, for anybody watching that just doesn't understand why the East Division teams were so upset by it, the East Division for the last at least 4 years, maybe 5, has been the better power rated conference or division in the conference of the Sun Belt. And even this year is still well ahead of the West Division, even with some teams struggling. So the East Division has kind of been looking at it and saying, we've got the historic brands, we've got the up and coming brands. The West has Louisiana and Troy that have kind of stood out for the most part. South Alabama is up there a little bit, but I'd say the top two brands are Louisiana and Troy in terms of success in the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Historically, Southern Miss has been good, but and they're probably going to turn it around this year. But gosh, their Conference USA title they won in like 2011 is the last time they were good at football. So,
Right.
The West Division really drags down the Sun Belt's metrics. And even with them doing that, the Sun Belt has been the best conference metrics wise in the group of 5 the last 2 seasons. This year, not the same case, but that's why I think the East Division teams really wanted to see the Sun Belt presidents kind of show, hey, we're thinking forward a little bit. We're not going to do what's easy and what makes the most sense necessarily from a regional standpoint, but we want to make sure that the Sun Belt is positioned so that when the Pac-12 comes in and claims they're a power conference, and the American, especially with the start they've had to this year, is going to start claiming the same thing. Where does the Sun Belt fall if you add Toledo and Ohio instead of Louisiana Tech?
Right.
In that conversation, I just don't know. I know where I would stand on it, but
Yeah.
The whole realignment thing is just tough because we don't know exactly what all the conferences are doing, especially the bigger leagues. The bigger conferences, like, we don't know what's going to happen because, especially with the Sun Belt, like, you don't want to make a move now that's going to hurt you later on. But at the same time, like, you don't know, like, if the ACC is going to start trying to pull some teams from the American or from the Sun Belt, or even the American trying to pull Sun Belt teams. So that's kind of like, I don't know. I'm worried about the future.
Yeah, because Marshall's in that spot where, like, we talked about, like, where we're located is it's going to be hard for us to go to a bigger conference like the ACC or even the American, just because of travel and people not wanting to come to us and play just because it's not a very good
Not a big market.
Yeah, a big market. So
yeah. No, I think there's reason for concern at this point. I think you kind of tie your hands a little bit as a conference by adding Louisiana Tech, because you're at 14 teams now. So realistically, I don't see the Sun Belt ever going beyond 16 teams. So you've left room to add 2 teams to the conference, assuming that nobody else leaves. And if other teams leave, it's going to be in all likelihood because the American has poached them, because the Mountain West, I just don't see the Mountain West poaching any Sun Belt teams because of location.
Yeah.
And I don't see the Pac-12 poaching anybody other than maybe Louisiana, just as like a backup to Tulane, kind of just to get that market if they really wanted it. But I don't know how far east the Pac-12 really wants to come. If they wanted to come all the way east, of course, they could start looking at JMU, for example. But realistically, the American Conference is in a position, as they always are, to poach the teams that they want from the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt, financially speaking, is really only in position to get Conference USA or Mid-American teams. That's why when we were talking about realignment, I wasn't sitting here saying, pipe dream, East Carolina, obviously. I think everybody would have been happy with that, at least from the East Division standpoint. And in the West, you start talking about teams like UAB or UTSA, whoever, but realistically, those were not options. And everybody's like, well, the TV contract for the American's going to come up here in a couple of years. Well, sure. But, unless they get totally gutted by the Pac-12, that TV contract, I think, is still going to look better than the Sun Belt's, because right now it's like 3 or 4 times the Sun Belt's contract. So there's absolutely no reason why any of those schools would want to come to the Sun Belt. And there's a lot of reason why a Sun Belt school with higher aspirations that says, hey, we, in this revenue sharing era of college football, it makes sense for us to go have 3 times more TV revenue and be in a conference where football is prioritized and revenue is prioritized and growth is, important. And frankly, the American just does a lot better job marketing itself. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
So, even though the team's winning helps, but Memphis is 6-0 and USF is 4-1. They're both in the top 25 with the week 7 AP poll coming out. Yeah. Marshall had to start, I think, 11-0 in 2014, maybe 10-0 before they ever got into the top 25 in the CFP poll. And then the week that they did, they lost to Western Kentucky in overtime. So, that's just the diff. Now, granted, the strength of schedule that year wasn't great, but still, I think if you look at historically, the American has just been put in the top 25 a lot sooner than any other Group of 5 conference. And I think it's because they have that brand recognition and respect nationally that the other Group of 5 conferences just do not have.
Yeah. And I think the Sun Belt, like the Sun Belt has obviously been the better conference, at least over the past few years. But the other thing that worries me the most is not necessarily us trying to get into a bigger conference, but it's if the American or the ACC or whoever comes and poaches like JMU and Old Dominion, but I would feel like it would be like almost Conference USA all over again when we got in there, and then all those bigger teams left.
Disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old Dominion has a good season. They're 4-1 right now, and they're the number 2 Group of 5 team in ESPN FPI and number 2 in the playoff predictor from the Group of 5. So it's like, if they were to somehow make the playoffs this season, if things happen in the American to allow for that, and then 2 years from now they get poached, there goes your one Sun Belt team that's ever made the playoffs or the New Year's Six. So granted, I think on the surface, if you put brand bias on display, everybody's like, it's just Old Dominion, but they're a big market. They have some, one of the higher budgets in the Sun Belt, and they've been pretty consistent, like just kind of average, and they've got the money, I think, in this era to be good. So, and that's the way that the American is looking at it. So I do think that would be a loss for the Sun Belt, the regionality aspect of it. I'd rather have them than any of the Conference USA teams that are kind of in the same genre. I want Liberty, don't get me wrong, but
one of the few guys.
What'd you say?
I said you're one of the few guys who love Liberty.
But there's like maybe 2 Conference USA teams that you could add at this point, and bring any value to your conference. No offense to conference.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not trying to be like, but it's just, if you look at the metrics, they're just not there.
Yeah.
Even with the Sun Belt having
just
to,
part of it is just Conference USA is getting all the FCS teams brought up to them, and now they're just kind of getting their conference going.
Yeah. So it'll take time. I mean, those metrics could recover in the next few years. But if you look at it right now, they're closer to the Missouri Valley Conference in the Massey ratings than they are the Sun Belt. And that's with the Sun Belt having a down year and being the number 3 Group of 5 conference so far this year. Conference USA and the Mid-American are both, I think, closer to the Missouri Valley Conference in the FCS than they are the Sun Belt. So it would just be really hard to add a ton of value. And that's why even the MAC, the MAC is just, the bottom teams are just that bad. So that's why I would be worried if the American starts poaching Sun Belt teams. The options to replace are few and far between.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
So
Scary.
I don't know. I mean, I like the Sun Belt. I think logo wise, probably the best logo in FBS football. But
I agree.
but
Just got to get that marketing team going.
the marketing is bad. It's so bad. And at this point, I've started to kind of recently have the opinion of, I'm not going to actively advocate that Marshall should be seeking a way out. But at the same time, as a fan that knows where this era of college football is heading from a revenue standpoint, and also just from how important your brand recognition is when it comes to rankings, I would want out for that reason. Because at the end of the day, in 2014, Boise State, I think in the CFP committee poll that decides who gets to go to the New Year's Six from the Group of 5, I think they were like 1 or 2 spots ahead of Marshall in that poll. And they had, I think they had 2 losses that season, maybe at that time, but could have been 3. I just can't remember. Either way, I remember thinking at the time, like, why is Marshall? I mean, we're 11-0 and they're 9-2. Why are we not ahead of them?
Yeah.
And I think ultimately part of it is just the brand recognition, the marketing of the conference. At that time, it was Conference USA.
Yeah.
And all it has to do is come down to 1 or 2 rankings and you get left out. And if it means us being in a new conference and having to travel a little bit more, but we get the opportunity to play in the playoffs, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. And it's not even like, the Sun Belt marketing isn't good, but I feel like it's even like some of the schools, like Marshall doesn't market some of the stuff well either. Like just some of the stuff we put out, like we talk about like ticket sales or like anything like that for like games and stuff. Like we don't I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Promote it.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't promote things that very well.
Yeah. And I think it works hand in hand. Like if the conference was promoting stuff better, I think fans would be more excited just in and of itself. You know what I mean? Like we're about to play a team this weekend that is, again, top 2 in most of the metrics in the Group of 5 for chances of making the college football playoffs this season. And they're 4-1 right now. They have the number 1 overall efficiency rating in the Group of 5. So it's like, there should be some hype around this team coming to Huntington, but because it's Old Dominion and not James Madison, we're not marketing it that way. But also the conference isn't, because if you go look at the Americans' social media from the last few weeks, how much they're promoting Memphis, North Texas, Navy, and USF. I mean,
it's
constant.
all over.
And no disrespect to North Texas, but brand wise, they are not anywhere close to the other 3 brands in that conversation, USF, Memphis, and I just blanked out. Navy.
Yeah.
Navy. So, but consensus wise, everybody's talking about North Texas because the American is promoting them. And if you actually go look at their resume, it's not great.
No.
So, they're undefeated, but I actually have FPI pulled up right now. They're undefeated, but if you look at their resume rankings, to date, their strength of schedule has been 132nd. Navy's has been 136th.
Wow.
Okay. Both of them are undefeated. But the reason in my group of 5 top 25 that I have not let either of them touch my top 5 is because if you look at who they've beaten, it's just not, it's not impressive. And UNT's remaining strength of schedule is 101. So like, but they're 5-0 and they're in the American, and the American is promoting them. So everyone is talking about how this potential 12-0 UNT team is going to be in the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
If they're not in the American Conference, if they're in Conference USA, nobody's talking about them right now. That's just a fact. And even Old Dominion, like nobody's talking about them right now. And they have their 32 strength of record, 46 FPI, 47 current strength of schedule. Okay, so North Texas, 132nd, Navy 136th. So yeah, they're undefeated, but ODU has a top 50 strength of schedule, and they're 4-1 with a loss to like what, number 7 or number 8 Indiana by 13, not 50, by 13. Yeah. And nobody's talking about them. So because of their brand and the conference that they're in, I think.
Well, it's kind of like Delaware. Delaware was coming into Saturday was 3-1 playing 4-1 Western Kentucky. They lost by a field goal to Western Kentucky. They were about to be 4-1 in Conference USA in the first year. Like, they had some momentum going for them. Like, and nobody was talking about it. Like, if they were to win that game, they're sitting at 4-1, and I think second in the conference. Like, that's
it's kind of like JMU when they came into the Sun Belt. But I think JMU was actually undefeated late into the season. And I think for that reason, had a lot of attention on them. It was game day, I think, that went to the JMU App State game, and App State beat them. So I don't know. I mean, I like the Sun Belt, and I really like the division that we're in. And I love playing these teams every year over what we've had for the last decade, for sure. But, you know, selfishly, because I know historically what Marshall is capable of, you know, you need the revenue, you need the budget increase, you need the promotion aspect of it to be able to consistently at least have a good chance at making a playoff during a good season. So the fact that you can go 10-3 in the Sun Belt and not finish in the top 25 is crazy, because the Sun Belt was the number 1 group of 5 conference last year in the metrics. And Marshall won and went and had one loss in conference play in a total fluke scenario, and still did not break the top 25. Memphis didn't even play in their conference championship game, and they were in the top 25. So that's the difference between the two.
Wild.
What was I going to say? Speaking of scheduling, can we, I'm tired of playing these top 5 team bye games.
Okay. My thing is, like, to go into it, like, I think a lot of people just see, oh, we're playing Tennessee, we're playing Georgia, we're playing all these big teams, we're getting this big paycheck, and we're getting to be on national television against these schools. Like, yeah, that's cool and all, but I would rather play like a team like, you know, Northwestern or Virginia, who maybe isn't that top tier, you know, team, but you're still getting paid that. Virginia Tech, Cincinnati, any of these teams like that aren't on the
well, that one's not gonna happen.
Not that one.
I'm just saying.
But like these teams that aren't, you know, top 15, even maybe not even top 25, but are still Power 4 teams that you can still get a decent paycheck from and have a winnable game, and not just go on there and collect a paycheck and say, oh, we're going to start the season 0-1.
You can play 2 of those games and make up for your one game.
Notre Dame. Like, Notre Dame was ranked when we played them. I think they were, 8? But
I mean, plus, like,
that was,
those teams
was
are
that
more
Marcus Freeman's
geographical,
first year?
too. Yeah, that was his second game.
Notre Dame, but the thing about Notre Dame is, like, there are top 10 teams that are built to struggle. And Notre Dame is just one of those teams. They play good enough to stay in games against the best teams in the country, and oftentimes have enough to beat those teams like they did last year. But at the same time, they've lost to a group of 5 team in 3 of the last 4 seasons. So, you know, what we did was obviously, historic from the standpoint of one of the best teams we've ever beaten. But they lost to Cincinnati in 2021. We beat them in 2022. Now, Cincinnati was a playoff team in 21, but still in the group of 5 at the time. And then in 2024, they lost to NIU, but then went and played in the national championship. So they're a slow paced. If you can stop the run and force them to pass, I mean, Buckner was not a good quarterback. So the ingredients came together right. But I think like what you guys are saying, and I've looked enough at the numbers to feel pretty confident in talking about this, but to preface, I mean, I might be naive to something, right? So, but I think, you look at Ohio, they played Rutgers 34-31, I believe was the final in that one. They beat WVU, and then they went into Ohio State. Now, they actually played them pretty competitive in the first half. It was like 13-9 at halftime. But they ended up getting blown out by Ohio State. But they still had Rutgers and WVU. So they didn't make Ohio State money against those two teams, but combined they did. And that's what I would like to see Marshall and most of the Sun Belt schools do, because you have Tulane going out there and beating Northwestern and Duke.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they got blown out by Ole Miss, but in Tulane's case, teams want to go play there and teams want to play against them, because why would you not want to go visit New Orleans, right? So, and recruiting grounds and things like that. I mean, there's just reasons why power teams want to go to South Florida, Tulane, UTSA, wherever. Now, WVU going to Athens doesn't make a lot of sense, but it happened. So either way, you can play two non-blue. Well, I mean, you don't even need to call it winnable. I mean, we've been playing the blue bloods of college football, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Georgia in back-to-back. No, maybe not back-to-back. In 23, we played Virginia Tech and NC State, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's perfect. You beat one of them, you lost by 7 to the other one and should have beaten them.
Yeah, literally.
But we had 2 non-blue blood Power 4 games. Like, there's just no reason to put yourself out first game of the season against Georgia, Ohio State, Tennessee, Texas, Alabama, any of those schools. No. And that's just where we're headed and where we've been headed, because the logic has been, well, we need revenue, we need the money. But no fan that I've talked to has been happy with our out-of-conference schedule this season. Missouri State, now, I'm talking crap about Missouri State as a brand.
I didn't mind the Missouri State game.
Well, hey, I mean,
just because it was somebody different for once that we haven't seen before. I don't want to see it all the time. No,
that's true.
But for one game here and there, like
my issue with Missouri State is that we scheduled a home and home with them.
Yeah,
with a team that at the time was FCS, and this is their first year. But at the time when we scheduled a home and home with them, they were FCS, and so now our travel opportunity next season is Missouri State. And this year, yes, we saw a different team, but nobody on the planet knew. Just casual Marshall fans. Like, obviously, we knew who they were because we pay attention to college football. We knew the realignment that was happening, but casual fans, casual Marshall fans, casual whoever, I don't care who it is, was like, who's Missouri State?
Yeah.
And that's not a shot at them. It's just they're not North Dakota State. They're not James Madison. They're not powerhouse FCS team that's moving up. It'd be like Tarleton State moving up. You know, you've heard the name before, but like, who really are they? And so we had that in Eastern Kentucky at home. And then on the road, Middle Tennessee and Georgia. Why not do a Rutgers and Virginia Tech, or like you guys were saying, there's so many teams in our region at the Power 4 level that are not Georgia.
I think my number one team I would like to see played more often is UC.
Cincinnati.
Yeah. Cincinnati.
Wouldn't say we might schedule a home and home with the University of Charleston.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, we live in Cincy, so that's kind of why. But also, like, just from a recruiting standpoint, like, we can recruit Cincy too because it's such a hotbed for high school football.
Yeah. And I would love that. I would love the Cincinnati. I miss playing those games. As a kid, I vividly remember the whiteout game against Cincinnati. I think we got destroyed, but I do remember that one. No, Cincinnati would be great. Pitt would be great. UVA, UK. For whatever reason, we've never been able to work anything out with UK.
I would love love to play them.
If you're going to play an SEC school, schedule one that's 2 hours away that we can all travel to.
Yeah.
I went to Georgia, and all of these are games that I've been to. Just for anybody watching that is not aware of that. So if you see a pennant up here, I've been to that game. So I went to Ohio State, I went to Georgia, I went to Notre Dame, because just for the opportunity of that experience with those historic schools, which is maybe an argument for why you could schedule those for your fans, but it doesn't need to be every single season.
Right.
And I would much rather us play teams in North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kentucky. If it's a neighboring state, why can't we see more teams, even on the group of 5 side? Why can we not see more teams from those states? Liberty, Toledo, Miami of Ohio. Now, granted, I know we're kind of playing Ohio again now, but there's multiple teams in Ohio that I'd much rather see us play rather than Eastern Michigan.
Yeah.
Like that just.
Or even somebody like Maryland.
Yeah. Maryland would work too. And of course, Army, we were supposed to play Army, and then that got canceled whenever they joined the American Conference. But
yeah,
the list of regional teams that we could be playing that would be a mutual benefit, travel expense wise, for teams. If you have a home and home with them or a 2-for-1 or whatever it is, it's a mutual benefit from a travel standpoint for both your team, staff, and fans. Like, why would you not want to have that opportunity? Why is Georgia Southern, I know this isn't Marshall, but why is Georgia Southern going to play Fresno State?
Yeah.
First game of the season, you're traveling across 3 time zones.
And then they play USC the next week.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they stayed in California, actually. I don't think they went back. So, and maybe that's why they did that. Maybe that's why they scheduled Fresno the week before, because give your guys some extra time in California. But there's reasons why you could schedule those games. I've always talked about maybe a Pac-12 Sun Belt Challenge type of scheduling alliance. And so that would obviously take us out west, but at least you're guaranteed to be playing the best, brands and teams in the country, and you're not going out west to play somebody random. Yeah. So I don't know.
You don't want to go to the New Mexico Bowl anymore?
No. Oh my gosh. I remember when they announced that. That was what, 2018?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God. I mean, we won, but man, like our options at the time, I'm like, I finally convinced my dad to go to a bowl game, and then they announced the New Mexico Bowl. But Colorado State,
that wasn't a bad opponent.
Exactly. Like it was one of the more interesting teams we could have played that season. So opponent wise, I wasn't unhappy with it, because the tie-ins for Conference USA and the Sun Belt are awful. So
and we get to go to Penn State week 1 next year.
Yay.
Yeah, totally. When I was listing teams, I kind of forgot about it. I mean, hey, they're regional. I can't fight it too much, but Penn State.
That might be
here's
a
the thing
winnable
about
game.
Penn State.
Hey,
they are, in my opinion, like Notre Dame in the aspect of they just struggle. They are a struggling team, and James Franklin, I don't think he's got it. So there's a chance that, depending on how the rest of the season goes, Penn State doesn't have the same head coach next year. I don't think that's going to happen, because Penn State should probably realize, like, how many options do we really have at Penn State? But there's a chance you have a different coach. There's a pretty high certainty that you have a new quarterback. And even with Georgia, like, Gunnar Stockton did not impress me that much. Now, you could say maybe they weren't running plays where he was, supposed to be passing against us, but his legs is what killed us. It was not the read option. It was not his arm, in my opinion. Yeah. So the issue was we just couldn't stop the run. We kept getting killed on the read option. Notre Dame, we kind of slowed down the run game. Buckner had an awful day passing, and we won.
Our defense was insane.
So
that was a good defense of ours.
Yeah. So that's if you want to beat a team like Penn State, they got a new quarterback, and historically, I just feel like Penn State's offense, it's not like you're playing against Ohio State or Oregon. You know what I mean? It's more like, I know they're not full on Iowa, but like it's closer to Iowa than it is Oregon offensively, in my opinion. So,
Yeah.
so that's, I might go in there next year thinking we have a chance, but
Keegan was going into Georgia thinking we had a chance. So
I go into every game thinking we have a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, Tristan.
You just never know, man.
oh shoot. I don't know. Do we think we're
And-
ever gonna get a P4 team at the Joan again?
No,
Even if it's like
It doesn't seem likely.
yeah, probably
no,
not.
I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, what I've always been told by people at Marshall is that Huntington is just a tough place to convince teams to play.
Yeah.
And, the Huntington airport's not bad, but like hotel wise, there's really not a ton of hotel options. And I think a lot of those power teams expect nice treatment when, we stayed at a really nice hotel when we went to Georgia. Not me,
Yeah.
the team.
Yeah, the team.
Yeah.
And so on the flip side, I think that it's the same expectation. If we're going to come into Huntington, we want to stay somewhere nice. Now, the new hotel that's going up in Milton, I think will provide for that opportunity. But historically, since the new scheduling has been happening in recent years, I mean, I'm still hearing that teams are staying in Charleston when they come and play Marshall. Not all of them, but some of them are staying at like the Marriott or whatever in Charleston. So it's just not ideal from that standpoint. And from a recruiting standpoint, nobody is truly recruiting the West Virginia region. Now, you might be able to get some recruits from Ohio to come down for that game, or build a schedule for some of your coaches to recruit kind of around that. But even then, you're still, a few hours away from Columbus and Cincinnati and Toledo and some of the bigger cities in Ohio. You're not exactly that close to. So I just, for those reasons, I think it's going to be hard. And plus, I mean, Marshall has a top 5 win percentage at home.
Yeah.
Since like in teams' current stadiums, Marshall's record at the Joan is just really good. Now, I don't know the percentage after we lost to Missouri State, so maybe that's changed. But last year, ESPN Plus, or maybe it was when ESPN actually came for ESPNU or whatever, but the graphic they put up was like we were number 4. And I think teams also look at that. Like the ACC does not want their teams playing at a group of 5 schools, regardless of who it is. They don't want them playing there anymore. And I get why. I mean, when you play on the road, you're more likely to lose. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Vegas wouldn't bake in points for it being a road game if that didn't matter. So, I just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, maybe.
I think if you were to get that happen, I feel like maybe Cincinnati would be a team that would do that because they have came here before and they do seem to play at group of 5 teams on the road still.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Miami's their rival, but they do go to Miami, Ohio every other year.
I think, who was it recently that bought out all of their games? Well, it was Virginia Tech and Old Dominion.
Yeah, Virginia Tech and ODU.
Yeah. So they've lost 2 games now at Old Dominion, and they had another maybe 2 or 3 games at Old Dominion that were already scheduled. And they literally, I think Old Dominion agreed to an extension of the game, but removed the games at ODU, and now they're all going to be played at Virginia Tech.
Don't matter. They still can't beat them there.
And I think that's what you're really going to start seeing at the group of 5 level. The way that I think Marshall could get a team that is a power team in the Joan is by scheduling them before they get invited to a power conference and hoping that they keep the game. So schedule Memphis.
Boise.
Schedule. Well, yeah, I hope Boise State keeps that game in 2027. But schedule Memphis, schedule Tulane, schedule USF. Memphis regionally is not bad. USF, you've got the direct flight to Tampa both ways. So if you could get a home and home with teams that are actively seeking power conference status, the worst case scenario is you get bought out of that contract and make some money off of it. But that's how I could see maybe they keep that game during the transition phase or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you could try that strategy, I guess.
All right. Before we talk about stadium upgrades and game day atmosphere, we got to talk about this real quick. Your tweet the other day where you were talking about, would you rather your team be a mid team or like drop to the FCS and be a powerhouse like North Dakota State?
Yeah.
We disagree on this, I think.
Really?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
I see both sides of it. Like, for me personally, like, I want to play for something more than just a conference championship because, yes, there's the chance
And
of
a
us
meaningless
getting in the
bowl game.
playoff, but like the chances of us winning 4 straight games against top 10 opponents is just not going to happen. So for us to win a national championship at this level is just like it's literally impossible, I feel. But
Okay.
and I just feel like from like a stadium, like a fan base standpoint, I feel like a lot of fans would be interested in the FCS level just because of like how the playoff is set. Like you get playoff games at home and like that atmosphere and like those weather, like the weather in those games would be like just insane and just be awesome to experience.
I want to drop down for the snow games, baby.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you hold the same opinion, Tristan.
Pretty much. I do see both sides, but
Mid
I would
was
like to...
my wording of that tweet was kind of poor in the sense of I said mid, and I think that made a lot of people answer it the other way. Although, I mean, you guys sound firm on it regardless, but like Marshall, I mean, Marshall's a great example. Okay. So would you rather over a 25-year span go to 19 bowl games, win 13 of them, have 7 conference championships, have 9-10 win seasons, I think.
Yeah.
Like basically one of the most successful teams at your level of football versus maybe winning 4 national championships at the FCS level in that same time frame. Because I mean, we won 2 in a decade.
Yeah.
But realistically, that was the most successful period of, I mean, it's hard to say that though. I mean, I don't want to judge success based on the fact that we can say we won a national championship but even when we moved up to FBS, that decade was still the most successful in Marshall football history. Okay.
Yeah.
Because when Marshall moved up to FBS, they still went 10-3 the first year. And then in the third year went 13-0 and was knocking off power teams and big brands. Mm-hmm. So it's just hard for me to look at those FCS years. And we played for 4 national championships and won 2 of them in that decade. And to look at it now and see how many North Dakota State has won over the last 10 to 15 years is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even South Dakota State now is winning championships too. Mm-hmm. So you look at a team like James Madison, and I think it's pretty telling because they have recently won a FCS national championship. In comparison to North Dakota State and South Dakota State, obviously, like they take up a lot of that space. But of the non-Dakota State teams, I think JMU and Sam Houston are the 2 most recent, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
And so if you look at the excitement that their fan base has had for moving up to the FBS level and getting to play against teams like Marshall and App State, Coastal Carolina, UVA, whoever, mm-hmm. I think that's pretty telling. Delaware sold out their stadium against WKU on a weeknight and had the most attended game since 2018 in their stadium. It was like 19,000 people, which I know obviously like we could have the conversation of, well, that's a low capacity or whatever. But the fact that it's been 7 years since you've hit that mark and the first year that you hit it is when you move up to FBS and you're playing Western Kentucky on a weeknight, like again, to me, we're seeing these fan bases that have been at the FCS level where they truly can play for a national championship. And what I'm seeing from their fan base and the way they've reacted to being at this level is this is better.
Yeah.
Like, that was good and we enjoyed those years, but this is better than that. And I think part of it is because I've got the FCS top 25 pulled up right now. And if the top 10 teams were on your schedule, okay, outside of the Dakota States, so your schedule is Tarleton State, Montana State, Illinois State, UC Davis, Rhode Island, Lehigh, Southern Illinois, Tennessee Tech, Idaho. Does that get fans in seats?
Yeah, that was the only thing. That was the only thing I was worried about.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if playing for a national championship would just bring fans regardless.
I think it would eventually. I think
especially
if you had
if, like, you were good, like,
yeah, if you were
getting
winning
home
games
consistently in the playoffs and having that home field advantage, you're gonna get sold out crowds. But regular season wise, like if you're playing a bottom of the barrel, if you're playing Lehigh, there's probably gonna be maybe 17,000 people in the stands.
No offense, Lehigh. I know you're a top 10 team right now, but
we know the Lehigh fans.
But Rhode Island came to Huntington in 2014, and it's the same reaction of playing Eastern Kentucky or whoever.
Yeah.
It's
I just don't know, like, if the reaction to that now is because we are FBS, so it's like, oh, they're FCS, like we just think we're better than them, so like we're not gonna show up to the games. Like if we were an FCS, like I don't know if that would be the reaction.
It's fair. My biggest concern about that is that once you do it, if you were to drop down, once you drop down, it's like you can't turn back from that, and at least not for a long time. And I think one of the arguments I saw was, look at the attention that North Dakota State gets from the national media. Look at all the love they get. But they've also won like 10 of the last 12 national championships.
Yeah.
You did not hear about Sam Houston State.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we maybe
I think if we dropped, I need us to be on North Dakota State's level.
That's what I'm saying. There can only be one North Dakota State every single year. There's only one national champion. So what it's going to become is if you don't win the national championship at the FCS level,
it's going to be natty or bust.
Your relevancy nationally.
Yeah,
gone.
I get that.
Yeah. And for a team like Marshall that has had such success at this level, defined by the things that we've been able to win, like conference championships, bowl games, 10 win seasons, whatever. For a team like Marshall to drop down, if you don't have that level of success, it would suck. But if you're like Kent State or Akron or, truly the teams that really just cannot compete at this level.
Yeah.
I think it does make a lot of sense for those fan bases to see an 8-0 record and the chance of hosting playoff games and get excited about it. It also kind of depends on how the playoff system kind of develops from here on out too. If they go to a 2014 model and exclude the group of 5 except for one spot, then create your own group of 5 playoffs, and we're solving the problem I think that you guys are talking about here, because that still gives you a trophy that would have more meaning than a bowl game.
Yeah.
So
plus, if you implement like how the FCS does it, where you get home field advantage in some, if not a game or two.
I think it should be home field advantage. Like I think FCS goes home field advantage all the way to the national championship, and I believe the national championship's in Frisco, Texas.
Yeah.
So, and the bowl sponsors could still partner with those games.
Yeah.
It would just be a different capacity, but I think that it's interesting. I mean, it really is interesting to hear that, people really think that it would be better to compete for a national championship in the FCS than kind of what we've been doing here at this level.
The other thing I thought about too is like, I don't know the analytics on it, but like, I feel like the transfer portal is more like not that big of a deal in FCS. I mean, I might be oblivious, but like, I don't think it would be as bad in the FCS than it would be in FBS. Like,
Like losing guys.
Yeah, like dudes transferring here and like obviously like if you have a guy who, you know, a quarterback who threw 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 3 picks, he's most likely gone. Like he's gonna get a big deal at an FBS program, like the kid from Ferris State who went to Ole Miss this year and is starting now, like that. But I feel like in the FCS, maybe you get guys that are there for 2 to 3 years instead of having, you know, 45 guys transferring every single year. But I also don't know the analytics of that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I
either.
also feel like that helps, you know, fan engagement more because they know players.
I don't know, but like you
But-
said, like I think if they did just implement like a group G6 playoff or something, like I think I'd be okay with that too. Honestly.
Yeah, that would solve my problem.
My solution is the college football NIT. You guys have probably seen my posts about this,
Yes.
but I think because what we always deal with, and I deal with this pretty much daily at this point because of what I tweet out as a group of 6 advocate, is that nobody gives a crap if Marshall wins a group of 5 playoff. If it's only group of 5 teams and our fans are the only ones that care about it, and then I have to go to work the next day and hear from another WVU or Ohio State fan that it didn't matter, like it's the most annoying thing on the planet. And so that's what you're inviting if you exclude Power 4 teams from that model, and which is why I think the NIT option, I don't know, I'm calling it the NIT because that's what we know from basketball.
Yeah.
Just using common language. But if you had a college football NIT and it's, let's just assume that they cut out the group of 5 completely for this scenario, then you would have your group of 6. You'd have your 6 group of 6 champions, maybe even the runner-ups from each conference as well. That's 12 teams. And then you could have, I don't know, you want to make it 24 because there's a lot of bowl games. I mean, the only reason that 24 teams sounds like a lot is because if you start out in the first round and keep winning, that's a lot of games. But you could, in theory, have a 24 team CFP, like a main CFP, and then a 24 team NIT, and let all your bowl sponsors just pour into those tournaments. And if you're not one of those 48 teams, you don't play in the postseason that year.
Yeah.
That adds a lot of meaning to the regular season.
And the bowl games.
And the bowl games and the conference championship games, because if you win your conference championship in the group 6, maybe you get a first round bye in the NIT. But you have to allow, I think you do 12 group of 6, 12 Power 4. So you can guarantee each Power 4 a spot. You could do at large, you could do whatever you want to do. But that way, I think the TV partners would be more happy with that, seeing teams like, Vanderbilt or whoever in there instead of, the 4th Sun Belt team or something like that.
Yeah.
So that to me is truly the best option. And if you win that, there is some value in doing so, just like there is with the NIT in college basketball.
Yeah. No, I like that for sure. All right. Well, this is going a lot longer than I expected, guys.
I'm kind of worried.
good.
No, that's good.
We need that because we're not.
Stadium upgrades. What needs to happen at the Dome, guys?
All right,
Paint the
first off,
troughs.
yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1.
I'll get in there and do it myself if I have. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do that actually.
Do you?
Doesn't seem like a great job.
Somebody brought up power washing the stadium. How hard would that, like, to get like just random people to do? Like, because like
Hey, buddy.
I would do it.
Would you do? I mean, they'd probably take volunteers at this point.
Because like, have they ever like power washed it, or like has it been just a? I don't know.
I don't know. It's part of the Jones problem is when it was built in 91, I'm sure it was a very nice facility,
Yeah.
but all the concrete walls and everything is just prison like in nature. And and then you're inside the concrete walls and then you go into the bathroom and it's rusted troughs. And it's just like if you this is honestly how I always look at it, because I'm a diehard Marshall fan, as are you guys, and as are most people that are probably going to watch this. When you go into the Joan, yeah, those things are like, ugh. But at the end of the day, you love the product on the field. Win or
Right.
lose, you like the experience of being able to cheer on Marshall. But when I invited my in-laws a couple years ago, oh my gosh, I was like, it's like inviting your friends to church for the first time. I was like paying attention to every little thing that went wrong
Yeah.
and was just embarrassed, like legitimately embarrassed. And they were not impressed either. But it's like, what kind of impression do you want to make on people?
Right.
And if the first thing that a new fan, no matter how old they are, if you convince people to come out to a football game and you're trying to make a good impression on them and they see these kind of dirty concrete walls and walk in and see the troughs, I mean, you've lost them, right?
Yeah.
So, because at the end of the day, most people do not care about whether or not Marshall's winning. They just
That's
don't.
true.
People want to socialize. People want to have good amenities, a good atmosphere. People just want to go have fun. And part of the reason why there was such an uproar when they took away re-entry was because I know people at tailgate. They were mad that they couldn't go back out to their tailgates because that's where all of their food that they had already spent all the time preparing was. That's where all their friends historically gathered up at halftime. Now, probably half of them didn't make it back into the game, but
And which was the issue.
which was the issue. But at the same time, when you talk to people about that, if you can finally get them to say it out loud, it's because what's inside the stadium is not satisfactory to them.
Yeah.
If it was, they would care a lot less about not being able to go back out to their tailgate. If you had reasonably priced food in the stadium, or a stadium that just felt clean and bright and open, or whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
amenities that they expect to have.
That's
and
the one
enjoy.
thing is, I don't know if I feel like it's always been like that, even like when I was little going to games, like even like 2008. But like, you know how like you're leaving the game and like the orange lights are like outside of the stadium, like they're just dim lights. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? We got to fix that. It just feels so weird walking out of the stadium, whether we won or lost. It's just like, I'm going into a new world.
If you leave while the fireworks are going, it's very bright.
Yeah, that's true.
Was that the EKU game when they just kept letting it go off? I was like,
Yeah.
here we go again.
Yeah.
Those were leftovers from game one, probably, that didn't get set off.
But also, I know we talked about maybe something that connects both sides, but like at a field level where you can still see the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Navy is my favorite example of that kind of stuff. If anybody wants to go look up Navy Stadium, they've got
I'm gonna
just,
do
I
it.
mean, well, in NC State, did you guys go to NC State?
No, we didn't.
No.
go.
Okay. They had a super, like, of all the stadiums I've been to, NC State stands out to me a good bit. The area that they had behind their end zone, they had concessions and stuff back there. It was like really nice, pretty brick facade on everything. And it just kind of fit the theme of the rest of the stadium. So it just looked nice. And
Yeah.
everybody was walking around and hanging out back there. It was right behind the student section. So that was just a good space. Navy has something very similar. But instead of concession stands, they've got like team history along that wall. So party deck. I don't know what you do. I mean, I'm not much of a party person, but I know people would probably enjoy that. So you got to do something over there.
Yeah. Do you know, like, all the tarps are gone? Do we know what, if it was just because of the concert and they never put them back up, or are they planning on doing something? But it looks even worse without the tarps on it. If we're
Yeah.
not selling the seats.
I don't think they're going to put the tarps back.
I mean,
But-
I didn't like the tarps, but I just don't think it looks good when you're not selling it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That leads me to my question is like, in my opinion, I feel like it would be better like if we did like take some of the seating capacity away. That way, like, because like James Madison, I think they seat like 24,000, and they're like selling out most of their games. Like,
Yeah.
I would rather have a smaller stadium and sell it out than have a 35,000 seat stadium and sell 23,000. I don't know.
Yeah. There's something to be said about generating the hype or manufacturing the hype. And I think what we've seen with a lot of these schools that are in the 25K capacity range is that they're selling out every game because the demand is so high. You have to buy your tickets and you have to buy season tickets.
Yeah.
With Marshall, my parents growing up, like after Cato left, it was like, why would we renew our season tickets? They just shuffled everybody's seats around. And why would we renew season tickets when like there's no threat of us not getting a ticket to a game at all?
Yeah.
So Marshall soccer does that really well. Everybody's like, we need to add another grandstand to the vet. No. If you're bringing in 3K, like we're one of the probably the best attended soccer programs in the country from an attendance standpoint.
For sure.
The atmosphere is crazy and I speak very highly of it. But part of that is because everyone just, you have to get your ticket or you're going to have a hard time getting a seat. You're going to end up in standing room only, which is still full. So that's what you want. I agree with you that I would not hate that option. The problem is the Joan is loud because the seats are there. So you replace it with a wall of, pretty brick wall with some history on, I don't know, but something to keep the sound in still without the seats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to get those championships and
don't get me started. We don't have enough time to complain about that.
No.
But
that's one thing Hey,
did you guys know we got green lights? So we're on the street.
The street is burnerverse. Oh, that was fun. Yeah. No, I mean, finances are a big issue.
Yeah.
I think if you put together a comprehensive plan and raised money for it, it would work. But just finding it in the budget is not going to happen.
I mean, maybe if we would like celebrate some of our guys who have gone to the NFL, maybe they would give back some. But that seems too smart.
I think there's like a wide receiver that played for us at some point. He's like really good. What was? Oh gosh, Darius Passmore? No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Somebody. I think he was here like late 90s, maybe. Might have gotten some kind of award or two at some point, but something like that.
Yeah.
Recognize that
really
person.
Just change the game, change the university.
Ran you. Yes. Yep. Nailed it. Just remember his name. Randy, you baby.
There it is.
Oh my goodness.
That's just too. What are we doing?
Don't know.
We should have like a Ring of Honor or something like.
Yeah.
On the press box. I don't know, anything.
I know that everybody wants party decks and things like that, but first of all, statistically, this generation is drinking a lot less than past generations, for what that's worth. But the stadiums that I remember are not the ones that had super cool party decks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't afford that stuff.
the ones that I remember are the ones with history. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that preserve that history and acknowledge that history. And from a visiting fan standpoint, I enjoy it. Ohio State is not an apples to apples comparison, but when we went up there last year with my in-laws, and they've been there plenty of times for Ohio State games, they're still taking pictures with all the historic stuff.
Yeah.
They've taken those pictures before, and they're still doing it because it matters to them. And they're still going to the tradition that the band has in the basketball arena where they play before they go over to the stadium or whatever. They've gone to all that stuff before. They've taken pictures with it before, but they do it again because it matters. And it's unique to them. So why be like everybody else is, again, you don't want to get me started on this topic. Maybe you do, but I don't think you do.
Maybe another episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Just so we're not here all night.
We could be. I mean,
We would be.
how much time do you have? I want to know. I want you all before I'm taking control.
Okay.
Predict our record
The rest
for
of the
the
year.
Yep, rest of the year. Let's hear it.
Okay. So what are we right now? 2 and 3?
Yes.
Yes.
I know I'm putting you on the spot, but this needs to accountability is happening
I know you're I know you're super optimistic,
always.
but man, dude, it is tough for me to see 6 wins.
I think we do go 6. I think we go 6 and 6.
All like we talked about, the offenses, especially last week. Where was that offense against Eastern Kentucky and Missouri State?
Yeah, but I say 6 and 6 because, like, yes, very easily we could be 4 and 1. Like, we're a few missed field goals away, just little things away from being 4 and 1. But like every press conference is, we got to fix tackling. We got to fix these little things, and it's like we don't get it fixed right now, and that's what my worry is. Like, if we're gonna be in games and we lose them because we're not disciplined, we're just not doing the little things right, I think that's what's going to bite us in the butt every single week. And that's why we lose a lot of these games.
Yeah.
So that's why I say 6 and 6.
Okay.
You think 6 and 6?
Yeah.
God. I want to give us 6 wins, but I don't think I can.
But also, like, it's hard too because, like, we're going into a gauntlet, but thankfully we get it at home. So there's that to look forward to.
Our next 3 home games are ODU, Texas State, and JMU.
Yeah.
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
I'm going to say 5 wins. I think we're going 5 and 7.
Haters. Gosh.
I hate.
At the beginning of the season, I said 7
hate
and
saying
5.
that, but
So
it's really funny. At the beginning of the season, a lot of people were crapping on me because I said 5 and 7. And I just didn't know what we had.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I did not agree with the CF Budges of the world that we were going to go 2 and 10.
no.
But I did see the unknowns of having not only a first year head coach,
Whole
but
new roster.
basically a whole new staff and a whole new roster. The uncertainty alone would cause you to lose some of your first few games. None of us ever expected to drop Missouri State, but look, okay, you said where was that offense? Where was the quarterback against Missouri State?
That's a good point.
Where was Carlos? He didn't play. So,
although the very next week, Carlos only had 9 pass attempts.
That's true.
Yeah, I do think, I will say this, our offense, just play calling wise, I think they opened up the playbook against Louisiana. It just felt that there was a lot more pre-snap motion and a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think EKU was just if we can win this game without having to show
Everything.
too much, let's do that. I think that's what EKU was.
Could have been.
It's hard to be upset with that. Everybody would have liked to see us pour on the points, but Missouri State, we played a different quarterback. If you go back to last season, look at what happened when we finally started the other quarterback. We went 8-0. I'm not saying that's going to happen again, but offensively, I have reason to believe now that we can score points.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think we scored 40 points in the last two games.
Yeah. And I was worried we were going to be struggling to score 20 points every week.
Yeah. So offensively, I feel a little optimistic that if we found our guy, like it took a few weeks for us to do that, but now we should start seeing that level of progression that a team would normally see from week 1 to week 2 and week 2 to week 3. But for us, it just happens to be 4, 5, and 6. You know what I'm saying? So
I think I'm just worried about I'm not worried offensively. I'm worried defensively because we're about to play Colton Joseph, who is just a dual threat machine. And we already have trouble tackling the quarter. Like last week, we watched Lunch Winfield go in and score 4 touchdowns in a quarter and just turn the game on its head. Like, I'm just scared defensively because we're just I don't know. We're just not a good tackling team right now, and we're not disciplined enough defensively to. We may score points, but like if I have to watch every game be 54-51 and we lose, like that is just gonna destroy me.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that, like if the offense is gonna stay at that level that we saw last week, if the defense can just tighten it up a little bit, we're gonna be in every single game we play.
100%.
Yeah. I think we win at least 7 games this season. I do.
I mean, I would consider that super successful,
That would be
especially after the start
awesome.
we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I think we do. And I think we steal some games against teams that we shouldn't beat.
Yeah.
We have to get to that number, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, gentlemen,
you got anything else, Keegan?
I don't think so.
have you shown off your green helmet yet?
You guys like this?
There it is.
Nice.
There's been some commentary on the green helmets on social media recently,
Oh yes, I saw this.
but that's pretty fire.
Don't put them away, Coach Gibson. If you see this, don't put them away, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know who we got to talk to about this, but like, we can't blame the helmets. Not yet.
It's not a helmet thing.
If I can point to specific coaching decisions that lost you those games by a combined 4 points, it's not the helmets.
Do we think teams like Louisville or just teams in general that wear a different helmet every week are saying this? Like, I'm pretty sure Louisville, every time they wear their chrome red helmet and they lose, they're not saying, "Oh, all right, guys, maybe we don't do this anymore."
I don't know, man. Since Boise State stuff shows up on my timeline a lot, their fans
Boise
are the same
bros.
way. Their fans are the same way. It's like
Like, I
everybody's
get
just
it.
too superstitious.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a look good, play good. You know, that's my
They're so
opinion.
nice.
Nobody said anything about the black helmets
well.
that I
that's
know
true.
of.
Did we lose in the black helmets?
I don't remember.
In 2023 was
Well,
not.
We wore them against NC State and lost, but
we love that combo.
yeah, that combo is low-key one of my favorite combos. I love it.
I think you got to get over it. Got to get over
We're
the
never seeing that again.
superstition of jerseys, in my opinion.
Oh, me and Tristan were talking about this. Do you think we'll ever wear like the black pants with like the green jerseys this year? I just feel like it'll look weird because the white collar. Like, I feel like the green jersey would just take away from the black pants.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
I also am starting to not like the buffalo on the collar.
I knew you'd come around eventually. I knew you'd come around to Walmart.
When they came out with the jersey, I was like, I kind of like the white collar, but I don't know if I like it. I don't know.
Why
It's
did
too
I know we
thick.
were going?
Yeah, it's too thick to where it just looks weird.
Yeah,
So-
I need to pull up our jersey combos on CFP 26 now that the green's in the game.
75 week every year should be this helmet. Never
I
change the
love it.
75 week helmet ever
Yeah.
again.
But I do think this goes into my other thing. I just want us to wear just a white helmet with a gray face mask with that logo
This logo?
on the, yeah.
Oh, like a true throwback helmet.
Yeah, like North
Yeah.
Texas does. I've talked about it all the time. Like North Texas does it all the time. They have a gray face mask and then like their old NT logo on the side, and it looks so good. Like, it wouldn't be that hard to do. Like, we already have a white helmet. Just get a gray face mask and then throw the stickers on.
Yeah. Did you guys
Obviously,
see what USF did with their stuff yesterday or
Yeah.
Friday?
I don't like that
a lot of
logo.
people hate that logo. I kind of like it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not asking necessarily for an opinion on the logo because it's kind of like a video
weird.
game YouTube
Yeah.
channel logo, but
It's got like Robo the Bull or something like
but
that.
you know that the helmets you had merch to go with it, and then on top of that, they actually painted a new midfield logo to go with it.
Yeah.
They had merch.
Oh yeah,
We can't even get merch of like, I don't know. Our merch sucks. Sorry, guys.
All right, man. All right.
Label this just like unending Marshall improvement conversations.
Clickbait.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. We really could go on for a very long time on any topic.
We could.
One more uniform thing. Do you want the yellow back?
No. Actually,
You guys didn't, you like that helmet you saw. Don't lie to us.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. No, that helmet looks sweet. The AI rendered helmet.
People were believing that.
Yeah. I actually I thought that helmet looked really good. And I don't even necessarily hate the jersey. It's like the top. It's the pants and stuff that I've never.
Yeah.
I think if you did it, here's the problem. Marshall's too broke to do that, but like if you did it, it would be a one-time thing. Like a one game thing to do. Or I don't know when we had those jerseys, like what year originally. You guys know?
Not off the top of my head.
I want to say.
I have no clue.
I thought it was late 70s.
Okay. If it was like 1973, I'm just making up a number. Then that's can't be 1973. It's already been 50 years. Let's say 1977. So 2027 is 50 years.
Yeah.
Maybe you do it to acknowledge the 50-year anniversary of those jerseys or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
To bring it back as a combo for that year and wear it a couple of times or just once. I mean, really, you could wear it once. You could set up a line of merch to go with it and sell that. I think the old fans would eat that crap up. And that's just how you do it. I mean, if you were going to do something like that, you would do it as a anniversary type of acknowledgement, I think. But
yeah.
And another thing I'm just kidding. You literally just and
wait, another.
Speaking of,
we're gonna have to do another one.
I'm down, boys.
We can literally go all night, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, dude.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys, taking your time each week to do the pods. It's good to have our generation kind of engaging with fans in this manner. It's good to have multiple perspectives. So,
gotta figure out what we're gonna do during the off season.
This is 20 of these episodes where we just
Honestly,
pick one topic and see how long we can go on that topic.
Yeah, each week.
It's ironic. You know that I'm a fan of shorter podcasts.
So am I.
And so I see the time ticking up over here and I'm like, they're
just cut it up
inside.
into separate episodes.
But like it kind of is funny, the concept of if you just picked a topic and could see how long you could keep that one going. It would be, would be possible.
Oh, so. I wanted to ask you if you knew anything about this. No, this is the last thing I'll say.
It's legit.
And then we're done. It's legit. Do you know what happened to the scoreboard before we did the big jumbotron? You know what I'm talking about? Like the big M. Do you know what happened to that? Did they give it to like the soccer?
On the shoe?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like did they donate it or like what did they do?
I don't know.
I'm trying to buy that.
Well, maybe they gave it to like the basketball, but I was like, that's probably too big. But then I was like, well, maybe they did it to like the baseball stadium. But I was like,
I have no idea. I have not heard of anything specific happening with that.
Because we saw on Facebook they were selling the lettering that was on the Shoey building.
Oh yeah, they were selling it for like $20,000.
I don't think it was that much. I think it was like 20.
No, it started at 20 and they dropped it to like 15, then 10, and then it was like 5. I was like, oh my gosh,
that's crazy. Also, did you guys see all the teams that are showing other teams on their video boards at games?
Dude, we didn't even get to your graphic you made.
How do I while recording, visual effects can't be changed.
Oh, okay, well, never mind.
So Old Dominion It was a Sun Belt Championship odds graphic, and Old Dominion has according to ESPN, 56% chance to win the Sun Belt Conference. JMU has a 22% chance. And then after that, it goes downhill. But of note, Southern Miss is 7%. Texas State, 7.5%. Everybody else is below 5%.
Oof.
So basically, that's who ESPN thinks is going to be your conference championship matchup. So
Till this weekend's over with.
that's right.
Mhm.
We're going to turn
Mhm.
we're going to turn the conference on its head.
Yep.
We have two weekends in a row where we have the chance to do that.
Yeah.
If
Pack the Joan,
we win
guys.
one of them, yeah, please don't give up on this team. That's crazy. Not you guys, but like anybody.
What is the theme for this week?
Pink out.
Pink.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Wear your pink. I don't.
Yeah.
Actually, I do. I don't really have pink, but we can figure
Me
something
either.
out.
I saw Glenn's was selling it, but I think you had to order it by a certain date.
Oh, well,
Hmm.
So
Oh well, I guess.
pack the Joan. Don't give up on this team. They're 2-3, but what does that look like to transfer? I mean, seriously, I think people. This is the last thing I'm going to say because it drives me legitimately insane. You cut this off and post it as it's. It drives me crazy. I like the burners. They serve a good purpose, but where they go overboard is how they act on social media when we lose.
Yeah.
And I get the frustration, but at the same time, if you think that for whatever reason, we have like a high ratio of burners to fans compared to a lot of other schools. Okay. Like props to the
Yeah.
Burnerverse. But
Mhm.
because of that, they're crazy on social media when we lose. And if you think that transfers are not looking at that kind of stuff, or current players are not looking at that kind of stuff and seeing how the fans respond to coaches or athletes or whoever after a loss and how quickly you're willing to give up on the team, like it's just
Not a good look.
It's too early in the season to start acting like that. I get it. The losses were ugly. You should not have allowed either team to come back and win those games, but
No.
have some perspective and realize that it's early. Tony's in his first year as a head coach. He had to get 75 new guys, and he started late because he got brought in after the portal was already open. So, like, just be patient. Try to have some grace for the guy and for all the players. They
And,
don't
like-
want to lose. Like, don't stop acting like they want to lose football games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And to like
Yeah.
piggyback off of that, like, yes, like we have the most transfers, I think, out of all FBS, but North Carolina was right behind us. Like, I think they were like 5 transfer portal guys behind us. They had like 70. And look at what they're going through. Like, obviously, they had Bill Belichick's new year, but same thing. First year head coach,
Yeah.
70 new players, and they're just, it's not going to be a good year for them, but that doesn't mean that they're not trying to win.
And you don't know what you have until you get there and get all those new guys together and get them in real games and see them play. Like when Signetti goes to Indiana and takes half of JMU with him, or when Huff goes to Southern Miss, and the Burners will disagree with how many players went from Marshall to Southern Miss, but like when you have consistency at your most important positions on the field, quarterback, running back, wide receiver room, whoever, like you are going to have a leg up on whoever you play those first 4 weeks if they don't have consistency at those positions and in the coaching staff. Those relationships and connections do matter to some, especially if there's not a huge talent gap, right? So we're 2-3. We have the 3 best teams in the conference coming to the Joan in the next month. There is zero reason to just not show up when we've played one conference game, a West Division game. So we're still in full control of our destiny the rest of this season. And we've got the 2 best, really, we've got probably the 3 best teams in the East. If you count, I mean, Georgia Southern is debatable, obviously. They're kind of struggling, but at least the best 2 teams in the East coming in the next month. We finished the season with Georgia Southern. So And then we've got App, Coastal, and Georgia State on the road. So as far as the
Yep.
East is concerned and your ability to play for a conference championship again, wide open. So reserve the aggressiveness a little bit.
We're gonna clip this part and tag all the burners.
Oh,
Caption
gosh.
it, KC calls out burners.
I'm canceled again, guys. I can only be
Alright.
friends with the burners like during the off season, apparently.
Yeah.
We disagree on when to start getting mad, I think.
They were mad at Georgia.
I was too, to be fair. We didn't try.
Wow. Yeah.
Play calling
Yeah.
wise.
Yeah, that was a long drive for that.
I can be critical without making Marshall seem like the most unattractive place to come and play football.
Yeah.
Is that I think that's the perspective. Be critical, call people out, but like don't go crazy just because people don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Boom. Mic
Boom.
drop.
My job. It's into there. Take us out of here, Keegan.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
It's a long
thank
one.
you, Casey. Yeah, it's a long one. But yeah. Go Herd.
Go Herd. See you guys.
Marshall on the blitz. Buckner gets rid of it to the left sideline, and it is intercepted by Gilmore. 30, 25, 20, right sideline. Stephen Gilmore. Gilmore into the south end zone at Notre Dame Stadium, and Marshall leads it 25-15.
Appleby with some time over the middle, picked up by Lang. Second interception of the game. Lang. Taquan Lang to the end zone. Touchdown.
Breaks it loose. It's a foot race. Rashid Ali, touchdown, 63 yards. His 21st rushing touchdown of the season.
He's going for Dobson. Dobson, the big strong receiver. Yes! Wow!